Ready. Let's talk hoax hate. I have two, and I'm going to have to hurry.
Yeah.
And now, the nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. You think they'll notice?
Well, a few weeks ago, we had a story about an incident of hoax hate that was simply a note or notes above two water fountains. One said white and one said colored.
Oh, is this the lazy black chick?
It was done by a young black girl of questionable effort, and this was in Sacramento. It was in Sacramento, California, and it was determined not in fact to be a hate crime, largely on account of her race. And yeah, you had commented that it was a low effort hoax, and
I don't think that's what I said.
And there would be more effort and attention to detail needed in the future. Well, if that one was low effort, what are we going to call this? An apparent copycat of that incident. Nearly the exact same story happened at Warner Robins High School in Georgia.
Warner Robins High School leaders say they found out who posted offensive signs in school and dealt with them. Viewers sent us photos of two water fountains next to each other. One sign said whites here, the other read colored here. Principal Chris McCook says they removed the signs immediately. In a call to parents, McCook says the school dealt with the person responsible but didn't elaborate. Now, Houston County officials told 13 WMAZ that the signs were posted by an African-American student, so they don't believe it was intended as a hate crime. They did not discuss why the student posted them.
That's double lazy. It's like double welfare black chick. Like she's living off of someone else's welfare. She can't even get her own welfare.
This one is this is there. If there was any creativity in the last one, it's certainly lacking in this one. But once again, the same reasoning appears. Well, it's not a hate crime because a black chick did it. Is the implication that if a white chick did it, it would be a hate crime? Because again, then hate crime as a premise is not, well, we have to punish egregious crimes more. Hate crime as a premise means different rules for different people. That's what that means. If you're saying, well, black chick did it, so not hate crime. If white chick had done it, hate crime. Different rules for different people. Okay, great. This one's a little more involved, but I'll be quick with it. In Middletown, Connecticut, the superintendent of the school district, Dr. Michael Connor, has resigned effective immediately after he says he received a hate packet in the mail, which included death threats and racially charged language. However, it's more complicated than that. Connor has actually been on leave from the job since mid-October because the district launched an investigation into alleged misconduct by top school administrators, including Connor. That alleged misconduct is not entirely clear because the details of the ongoing investigation are not entirely public. But union employees of the school district say there was workplace misconduct against them by these school administrators, including the superintendent. The misconduct is alleged to have included harassment, bullying, intimidation, and a toxic work environment. An independent law firm is still conducting that investigation into that matter. But how convenient for Superintendent Connor. He says he's now received a hate letter and that's why he's out of here. Not because he's the subject of an investigation about abusing school employees, but because it's not safe for him to be in the area and he has to focus on his family now. In a statement, Connor says, "I'm not resigning because of the baseless claims, political posturing, and a one-sided investigation process that is more interested in reaching a result in lieu of finding the truth. The recent threats to my family and myself have caused me to reevaluate personal priorities. At this time, my priority is my family." So Connor and his family say clearly that the illegitimate investigation into them, their claim is that the illegitimate investigation into them emboldened the hateful person to send this letter. Now, when I first looked at this, I thought, okay, fake letter to themselves is a plausible reason to bail because they know the investigation is going to be embarrassing.
Right.
But it's even a little more complicated than that. I went digging to find the letter, and I haven't been able to find the content of the letter itself. It might be out there. But I did find a description of it from the Middletown, Connecticut mayor. And the letter is apparently 15 pages long. The mayor says it's something the city is taking seriously, but, quote, "threatening is not the threshold that it reached from a criminal standpoint, but it was not a pleasant message. It's not a love note. The mayor says there was no direct threat made in this letter. The letter apparently includes quotes from Martin Luther King and lyrics to the song The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. So decide how threatening that may be. Threatening to some, I suppose. This letter was apparently written by a man in the community who had it was written by a guy who admits to writing it, who had prior run-ins with this superintendent. He says this man had employed a student that Connor had expelled from the school district for once waving a Confederate flag in front of the school. So there's a dispute that originated between the men there. And the man confirms, speaking with local news, he says, I am not a racist, and this was never meant as a hate crime. It was simply a friendly reminder based on this recent poor behavior. So he sent him a letter, but there's no hate element to it, and the superintendent hasn't been able to prove any hate element. So it's just, I got a letter and it was mean.
So this is just a letter. This isn't even hoax hate.
He's using an existing letter of unknown content that sounds very benign to say it's hate, to get out of a situation in which he looks likely to be embarrassed or have a bad investigation result go against him.
Well, that was lucky, I guess.
Yeah,
The letter.
that really did him a favor. They should probably be friends now, these two guys.
Do you know what I've been saying to myself all week? Excremento amigo beza. I could not stop thinking about it. It's so funny. I've never seen a funnier real hate event ever.
Yeah, that one's too real.